then I can put this here. Move this over here. Hey there, everyone. Getting started here. Don't mind me as I'm setting stuff up. It takes me a second. And then I can go right there. There we go. Okay, nice. Hey there, Chocolate Donut. Yes, I can put you on the list. 1 second, my friend. How are you doing? Still getting stuff set up, so it's going to take me just a second. Hey, how you doing there, Stars the Limit? First timer, well, welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here, my friend. My name is Chance. It's not Chance's Tarot. I know that's disappointing. Be cool if that was my actual name, but I'm playing it up just a little bit. So, but welcome to the stream. I am doing good. So, I'm gonna add both of you guys to the list here. So let's do Chocolate Donut. Let me move my shit around here. Get some things going. Okay, and let me zoom out just a little bit. Oh, zoom out. Okay, there we go. The camera adds 10 pounds, but it's straight to my ass. You wouldn't believe. I got the white guy ass. It's kind of inverted. But then, with this camera, boom, I got a badonk like you wouldn't believe. And it just little bubble butt. Nothing too crazy. Alright. It's hard to hear me. Well, hopefully it's a little bit easier to hear me now. I messed with the audio settings there for a while. I might just need to project my voice more. We'll have to see how it goes, but hopefully you can hear me just a little bit better now. Better, okay. Alright, and it should be just a little bit better. I turned the volume up a little bit more. So anyway, let me add you guys to the lists here. So we have got Chocolate Donut. And then I'm thinking we're going to have Stars the Limit is probably going to be our next one. Okay, so let's do this then. I'll move this over here and we'll get started. So, what is your question, Chocolate Donut? And is it sweets related? Because I always welcome those questions. Always. So let's see what we can come up with here for you. Get these cards shuffled. And yeah, so far, again, it's been a good weekend. Just been playing games. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm about 60% through it. I won't say anything because, you know, no spoilers or anything, but I'm liking it. It's good. And the PS5 tells me the percentage that I am through the game. I'm not so meticulous that I'm like keeping track of percentages. I don't have a brain like that. But what is your question, Chocolate? Okay, you wanted to know if Gavin will reach out in response to your message. Let's take a look at that and see what we got here. So, will Gavin reach out in response to Chocolate Donut's message? Oh, there we go. Will Gavin reach out in response to Chocolate Donut's message? Go. All right. Let's look at what we got here. the Sun in reverse, and then the Eight of Cups, and this is like walking away from a situation. But the Sun card I always view as kind of like getting what we want, but how I would view it if it's in reverse is it could just take us more time to get what we want out of this possible connection. So if we're wanting a response quickly, maybe it's going to take a little bit longer than we were thinking, or maybe it'll be left on scene for a minute and not necessarily responded to right away. But I do feel like there should be a response, at least at some point in time. It's looking like it's going to be more of that kind of thing. So hopefully that gives you some insight. And hopefully now we can move on to Stars the Limit. But yeah, hopefully you get what you want, chocolate donut. I always want that. You are very, very welcome. Stars, if you're still there, you can ask your question. And I'm gonna do this really quick here. Just gonna look at something. Okay. Let me do this too. I forget I have my headphones in sometimes. But hopefully I sound better than I did yesterday. I did not know the audio was that bad yesterday, and so hopefully if I sound even just a little bit better, that's a win in my book. Okay. Just checking something really quick. Okay. Anyone have any fun plans this weekend? Hmm. Let's see something here. Yes, I can put you on the list, Amanda. No issues there at all. How are you doing, Amanda? Hey there, Z. How are you doing? Okay, so let's get Z on the list. And then Amanda. Glad to hear you're doing good. Awesome. Okay, so, yeah, we're kind of just getting stuff set up here, so we're still in those beginning phases. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good weekend. Just been a relaxing one for me. Just been playing some games, been chilling. I do love me some chilling. Oof. Alright, let's see if we can come up with it. Here, I imagine Z, Amanda's been added, and Z, you have been added as well. So Z, if you want to ask a question, I can put you up there, and then you'll be up next, Amanda. And then Stars the Limit. If you're still there, you would be after Z and Amanda. I called your name earlier, but you weren't around, so. And that's okay if you're not around. I don't get mad. I don't get upset. I just move you to the bottom of the list, and then, you know, we kind of do stuff that way, so things keep moving. But I don't get upset. I understand people have things to do. They have places to be. So, yeah. Okay, just a general look, please. Alrighty. Let's do that for you. Mr. J, yes, I can add you. Remember, guys, to like the video. I think everyone that's watching now is subscribed, but like and subscribe to be put on the listicle, as we say in probably Germany. I don't know. Thank you very much. Yes, I'll put you on the list there, Mr. J. Mr. J. Let's do this here. So I've been playing Final Fantasy Remake. The new game is coming out, and so I think it's coming out in February. So I'm trying to get through this one, and then I think there's Crisis Core, which is it's like a 3-part game, and so you have Remake and then Crisis Core, or Crisis Core and then Remake, and then this new one. So I'm trying to get through this third game of. It's confusing. This RPG, Final Fantasy, I have no idea when it's going to be the Final Fantasy. They've been talking about it for a long time, though. So far, it's been a very long Final Fantasy, if you know what I mean. But I'm liking it. I like the gameplay, and the story is good. Bit convoluted, bit confusing, but do I have a preference in terms of games? So, and I don't know, Poppy Playtime. So, speaking of games, I heard Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 is coming out. I have no idea what that is. It sounds interesting. In my mind, I'm thinking like Five Nights at Freddy's or something kind of like that, which I haven't played either. The soundtrack is good, though. Soundtrack's actually really good for Five Nights at Freddy's. You'd be surprised. What was I going to say? I like shooters. I like, but then I like stuff that's more story-based, so I like RPGs. Love the Pokemon games. Not the newest ones, though. There's performance issues. But the 7th generation, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the 6th generation, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Been playing a ROM hack of the 3DS game that ups the difficulty. It's really fun to be frustrated over a children's video game, and so that's kind of what I do. I get frustrated. It's actually really hard. I realize I'm not that great at Pokemon when the difficulty amps up. Which is fun, you know, that's a fun thing to do. It's a scary game, yeah, it's pretty similar to that, but it's not similar at the same time. You like seeing people's reactions to the game. I got you. Yeah, the reactions are always the fun part. I honestly think games are... It's my favorite form of media. Yes, lovely, I can put you on the list here. So I'm gonna put the list up here so you guys can see. But we'll do Z's reading here. I just like to talk, if you guys haven't noticed. Something I kind of do, you know. Communication's kind of a big deal for me. That's how I roll. For the Wolf Among Us 2. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Wolf Among Us. I don't know what that is either. Oh, I'm so lost on games. It's ridiculous. What are my top favorites? Okay, so I'm going to look at Z's question. I'm going to be shuffling here. I'm going to go to there. And just a general look, please. So let's do some cards for Z, and I'll talk about my game. So, love, like I said, Pokemon, Mario, Zelda. But like the retro Zeldas, like the, where do I even have it in here? Ah, yes. Okay, hold on. So I've been playing my Analog Pocket here. In the back, I have a... I bought this from Etsy. It's a reproduction remake of one of my favorite games of all time. The camera's having a hard time seeing it. It's Mega Man Battle Network 6. Absolutely love the Mega Man Battle Network series. It is freaking amazing. And I've been playing Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island 2, or Yoshi's Island, the Super Mario World 2 for the Super Nintendo. Been playing that. I'm trying to 100% it, and that is incredibly frustrating. I'm stuck on World 2. Yeah, it's tough. It's good though. It gives my my brain something to do. Okay, so Z, let's look at your question. Let's do a general here. What about you, Z? What are your favorites? And hey there, Aqua. Hey there, KB. Hopefully everything went well with that thing you had to deal with. And yes, KB, I can put you on the list here. And then I'll post the new list. Yes, I've heard of Telltale Games. You're so welcome, Aqualeo. I am so happy that I could help you in any way. That's what I do this for. I just like to help people, and I'm glad I could do that for you. I don't know if you've heard of Telltale Games. They created The Walking Dead. Yes, I remember them. They created The Wolf. Yes, okay, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, Denise, I can add you to the list here. There we go. I got you on the list. Okay, here's the new list, and we're looking at Z's reading for a general. Oh, Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain, amazing games. Amazing games. You have a great day too. Yes, yes. Detroit Become Human is good. Quantum, well, I only played a little bit of that one. Quantum something was really good. Two Souls was really good, or was it Beyond Two Souls? Really, really good game. Yes, exactly. David Cage's games, Beyond Two Souls. Freaking amazing game. It's good. It's a really good game. That seems to be what's going on for people nowadays is they love the narrative-driven choice games. When I was a kid, we had books that you would choose your own ending. You know, you choose your story. Those were so fun, but I would always put my finger on one page, turn to the other one. I died a lot in those books, and so but you would make choices and you could decide. It was choose your own adventure books. Loved them when I was a kid, and those games are exactly that, but more interactive. Okay, so for Z we have the High Priestess, okay, and we have the Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins. So these two cards right here, if we're looking for kind of a general spread of what's going on here, listen to what your conscience or what your intuition is telling you, because it's cultivating something. Okay? Yes, Kartika, I can put you on the list. You are on the list. And remember to like and subscribe, guys. There we go. But this right here is telling me that good things are on their way, but you have to go with the flow. And we just have to listen to that little still voice that lives inside of our minds. Most of us, it's rent-free. Sometimes it says good things. Sometimes it's a little iffy. Sometimes it gets a little drunk on DoorDash. That's too much power for one person to handle. Food delivered straight to me. I just need them to get a spoon and put it right in my mouth. Like, just come in, just come, anyway. Ugh, dreams, I'm telling you. I've got them. Sometimes you get confused between that and anxiety. So, the psychic senses that we have, that intuition, okay, it's going to speak to us in a way that won't feel necessarily like anxiety. When we learn to calm our minds, it becomes a still pond. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, imagine it like this. In each and every single one of us, we have a lake, all right? Some of us, it's Lake Titicaca. I just like saying that because I think it's funny. Horrible name for a lake. Like, who looked at that and said, you know what? Titicaca. You know, that's going to be the name of the lake. I'm so sorry. Horrible sense of humor. So, what I'm saying is this, is that if we can take our anxiety and we can quiet that down, we can listen to our intuition more. When we are calm and our environment is also calm, any kind of subtle vibration that could be from the psychic world all of a sudden becomes a lot more amplified and easier for us to see and understand. If we're very anxious, if it's very hard for us to focus on things, if it's very hard for us to quiet our minds, then it will be hard for us to distinguish anxiety from thoughts, from intuition. Okay, and those are three different things. a lot of times my psychic impressions, they are not my impressions. They happen to me, but they're not thoughts that I've had. It's like another thought is being injected into my brain, and I know that it's psychic versus me because the thought comes in and it's fully formed to begin with. With thinking, we go from point A to point B to point C to point D. With psychic information, it's just kind of all there. It's just like boom, bam, it's all there. It's all created for us. And so that's kind of some way you can differentiate between psychic versus like anxiety, for instance. Okay, you understand completely. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some insight. And we'll move down the list here. Amanda, what was your question? But, we can talk about games, we can talk about psychic development. Remember, when I ask you guys to ask me a question, that question is for you. But if you have a question that's specifically for me, like what do I like, what are my interests, or if you have a question that you feel like would benefit everyone, ask that. Ask a question, get opinions, get answers that way, because that's what I want to have that be what this channel is us talking to each other and kind of growing as a community that way, right? I'm not a dictator. By the way, horrible name, right? Can you imagine you're just a tater, someone calls you a dick, and all of a sudden you have so much power? Oh, these jokes. I'm sorry, the lack of sleep is getting to me a little bit. But the Virgo's actions towards me. I do have a fear of him. Okay, so Amanda, let's look at that. And I'm sorry that there's a fear for this Virgo. But let's see what we can do here. So Virgo's actions towards Amanda. Let's look at that. Virgo's actions towards Amanda. All right. Okay, what are Virgo's actions towards Amanda? So we have the Chariot and we have the Knight of Wands. So boundaries are very, very important if we can do anything that way. If there is a very strong fear or just a fear of this person towards in general, I would say if we can look at possibly getting something to make it so this person goes away or they leave us alone. I don't know if it needs to be a restraining order or if we need to do something along those lines or just block them on everything. But definitely when we start setting boundaries, generally speaking, people start to fade away. And in this situation here, I don't want to scare you or have you feel fear. There could be this person trying to reach out to you, in which case, yes, like do whatever you can on your side to try to limit interaction with this person. And if there is fear with this person, or you do have to interact with this person in some way, shape, or form, do what's called gray rocking, which is that you do not let them into your personal life in any way. You keep things very surface level. You don't tell them about your dreams or your interests. You don't tell them about whatever it is you're going to be doing. And you keep things very, very vague. Okay, and I say this because sometimes we could be looking at a family member, a family gathering, and dealing with people that could be very difficult or not fun to deal with. And that's when you do what's called gray rocking. Like I said, you intentionally keep things very vague. You don't show a lot of emotion to these kinds of people that we can have fear towards, because a lot of times emotion gives these people an opening. And we should be emotional, absolutely, but we should pick and choose who we are emotional with and who we feel comfortable doing that with. Not everyone gets to see everything from us, and that's okay. It's really good to have boundaries, and it's really good to set this in stone. So if this person does reach out, and you don't feel like you can just block them or walk away from it, just do the gray rocking strategy. If they try to get more personal information out of you, again, just try to be vague as much as possible, and don't let this person in. Would be my advice there. Hopefully, Amanda, that helps, and I do hope things go well with this kind of thing here, and hopefully they don't reach out and contact you. But coming to your home, I think. Okay. Well, hopefully you can. Yeah, hopefully this kind of gives you some insight there. and I wish you the best in dealing with this person. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. So, and you are very, very welcome. Let me do this. All right, so we have another person. It's going to be, I had it written down. Let me do this here. Where is it? Where is my, there it is. There's my list. Okay, so we've got these ones coming up. Here's our free list. And right now, Mr. J. Nope. I didn't put a... There we go. Okay. Oh, you had your question all ready to go. Thank you, Mr. J. I appreciate it, Mr. J. All right. There's the new list. That should show who is coming up. Okay. All right. There is this book I'm working on temporarily called The Rose That Told Me So. I'm thinking about changing the title, but what does higher self want me to know about the impact it may have? Personally, I kind of like that title, The Rose That Told Me So. Oof, that's got some power behind it. That one feels intuitive. That title feels intuitive. I don't know. I like that title, but this isn't about what I like, is it? This is about you possibly wanting to change the title to something a little bit better. So let's look at that. Let's look at that. Scared that it might make my first... Okay. I'm scared that it might make my first ever book to be terrible or uninteresting. My main intention is... What is it? Okay, my main intention is to help people with depression and very bad mental states. It's very emotional, to me at least. Okay. Hey, that's awesome, Mr. J. I'm all about stuff like that, so that is cool. I like that title though because it's that's just a beautiful title. I don't know. I really like it. Anyway, let's look here. It feels to me, you know, if I hear The Rose That Told Me So, it feels to me like it's nature kind of bringing us back to center. And nature is always about centeredness, even though there can be storms, there can be raging torrents, there can be tempests, you know, things like that. Nature has a way of being balanced. So when I hear The Rose That Told Me So, it doesn't feel like it's someone telling me something. It feels like it's nature itself speaking to me, which to me, I like the title. Anyway, you don't need to keep through. All right. Changing the title. Well, let me read what you said again. Changing the title. But what does higher self want me to know about the impact it may have? So if Mr. J changes the title of their book that they're working on, what impact would that have? Okay. This is interesting here. Awesome, lovely. Well, you're right up next on the list, so after Mr. J, I will get to your question, but thank you for posting it early. Okay. So we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. This upright is about walking away from things that are no longer serving us. And this, I don't know, I don't ever want to be that person that says keep the title the same. But this right here, I feel like this is saying keep the title the way it is. I mean, you can do whatever it is that you want. Ten of Cups is in reverse. This card wants to be upright. And this card is walking away from a situation that is no longer serving us. But I'm wondering if it's just you feeling antsy about the name. This, I heard that. I like that. I like that title a lot. Like, that has a ring to it. But you're closer to your work. You're closer to your work than I am. But sometimes what can happen is when an artist gets too close to their own work, they start to see things that aren't there, that are negative, right? So that's kind of what I feel like is happening here, because that has a good flow to it. And I like that you're doing something that can help people that are going through different mental states or different mental conditions or things like that. And I think honestly, it's good. I would keep it the way it is. And the way this looks to me is, I think you're thinking too much about it. Emotionally, I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be good. I feel like the name has impact to it. So that's kind of what I'm getting. I wouldn't change the title. Of course, you can do whatever it is you want, but again, I like it. Hopefully that kind of gives you some insight there. I know it can be a little bit vague, but hopefully that gives you enough insight to sort of keep looking, keep kind of seeing what's out there. I'm going to do this though. Awesome, awesome, Mr. J. Yeah, and if you feel like you can come up with some other titles that could be good, I would say kind of write them down and sort of weigh them against the first one. I don't know if there's a way you could do this that would be necessarily beneficial, um, or even if it's possible. But there used to be a thing with advertising, because I used to do advertising online. Nothing like, I didn't work for a company. I just would advertise stuff that I was selling. And you would have ad copy, and you would have one ad go up against another ad. You would call it split testing, and people would decide which one they liked better. I wonder if there's any way that you could have two names kind of go up against each other and see what people like or prefer more, even though, again, I'd go with the first one. But if that's really something you think about. I was liking the title myself before, but I had my insecurities took the best of me. This new perspective verse gave me the grounding effort once more. Now I'm just, okay, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I would say keep going, man. Keep. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Let's go to Lovely's question. I'm always dreaming of my Libra ex-boyfriend. We broke up a long time ago. What might be the reason for that? Okay, so if we're dreaming about someone that we broke up with a long time ago, it could be that psychically there's still a connection. So I don't even know if I need to look at the cards for this one, but you guys come for the cards and you stay for the me, and I am him. So let's look at the cards. Let's see what's going on with those cards. I have a feeling they're going to be extra cardy today. They've been a little cardy, but I think right now they're going to get very cardy. All right. Let's see what we can come up with here. A soul tie. I don't know. Here's my thing, right? And it's a little irritating, and you didn't do anything wrong, Lovely, and I'm not saying you are. Hear me out on what I have to say, though, when it comes to this. There are so many different words that I view them kind of like when Samsung comes out with a new TV, they say, oh, it has Super Ultra OLED Supreme or whatever, and really it's just an OLED TV. It has an extra few bells and whistles, whatever. In the psychic world, so many different psychic practitioners come up with different names that mean the same thing, and I'm just going to call it a connection. I think you have a psychic connection, a soul tie, twin flame, soul flame, twin tie, twist ties, whatever. I'm just going to say it's a psychic connection, and that there's still a sense of being connected, and all we have to do is we need to start taking energy out of that connection. If the dreams are bothering us and they're not something we want to experience, we get to decide if that stays in our reality or not, and we can start to get rid of that. And there's nothing wrong with calling it a soul tie or this or that or the other, but it gets kind of confusing, because in the spiritual world, someone would call it a soul tie, another person would call it psychic connection, another person would call it a karma bond, or whatever it happens to be. I'm just going to say psychic connection. So, okay, good, you understand. So something we can do, like I said, I'll get the cards. Four of Wands, Four of Cups. So we have Sean Penn sitting on the ground here after what I assume to be a hard night of boozing. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. The way I look at it is going to be Four of Wands is maybe this person at one point or another promised something. Maybe it was a very intense relationship. There were promises made, and it's hard for us to move on and grieve this person, because when we break up with someone or they break up with us, we sort of have to grieve them while they're still alive, but it's almost like they're dead, but they're not. So it makes it kind of difficult to do the grieving process. The Four of Cups, though, could be that it's difficult to leave something behind. Maybe there could still be something there. But if we cut the cord, if you cut the cord to this connection, it doesn't mean that you're hurting the person that you're cutting the cord with, or that there can't be a relationship possibly in the future. Never wait for anything, though. But what it does is that you cut the connection, and then you get to take that energy back into yourself, and you can start to actually heal from this process. And that's a really, really good thing, because we have the power in ourselves to heal these kinds of connections. But if we allow ourselves to stay stuck, then it makes it harder for us to have all of that energy. And in time, these psychic connections can kind of bog us down, and they can make it so that we start to lose who we are as a person as well, because we're so connected into everyone's energy that it makes it hard for us to feel what we want to do. It can make us very, very indecisive. So what we can do is we can imagine a connection like a cord or a rope going between you and the other person. And I want you to imagine it in as much detail as you can. Okay, focus on the image, there's a connection, and then you take, I like to use like a syringe as an example, and I put that syringe into the cord, and I start drawing the energy out of the connection between the two of you. And you want to have this feel as real as you can have it feel, because when we're doing imagery like this and visualization, just because it's from our imagination does not mean it's imaginary. Imagination is where psychic ability starts and where it can progress. But a lot of things start in the psychic realm or the imaginary realm, but again, not imaginary, it's psychic. So we focus on making this as visual as possible. We could even imagine what the rope or the cord feels like with the other person. You can pull on it and hear what it sounds like. You can see a color with it. Basically, the more real you can make it, the more you can visualize it, the better it can be. And then you're taking all of the energy out of that, and you can just put that into the earth. Or you can take the syringe and you can stick yourself with it and inject the pure energy from that connection that is your energy back into yourself. And then you just tell the earth to take all of the rest of the energy that does not belong to you and drain it into the earth. The earth can recycle energy. It doesn't view it like, ooh, this is gross. The earth can recycle energy and make us whole again. That's what the earth is for. In a lot of ways, it helps to make us whole. And so we can do that with these kinds of connections. But the more we can visualize it, the better it can be, the better the outcome can be. So hopefully that gives you some insight onto how to get rid of this connection and how to move on. And sometimes we're stuck on the moving on process. And so this can be a really good way to see where we're at in healing this connection, because there could be some subconscious stuff that's holding us back. But again, work through cutting the cord or the energy connection with this person, and in time, you will get more and more of your own energy back, and you shouldn't be dreaming about this person as much, especially if it was a long time ago. So it sounds like we just need to go back and do some decluttering. But it doesn't sound, it's not negative. It's just kind of like we need to do some maintenance, you know, like, if that makes sense. Okay. So, KB says, why is SM Virgo so distant towards me? Will he reach out to me soon? So, are you wondering why they're distant, or are you wondering if they will reach out soon? I can do one or the other, KB. We got to do one question. Unless you want to pay me that green stuff. And I don't mean spinach. You guys keep trying to pay me in spinach, and it's nice, and I'm getting my fiber, but I need a little more. I need a little more than just fiber. I guess if he'll reach out soon. Okay. Will Virgo reach out soon? Okay. Will Virgo reach out soon? Dealing with people and their distance and all that kind of stuff. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. I'd probably rather be chased by a very, like, angry but out of shape raccoon. You know, I don't want it to get me, but there would be the fear of something very large biting at my ankles that would get me to move. Yeah, I'd rather have that. Alright, let's see what we can come up with here. Alright. Will they reach out to KB soon? Eight of Wands in reverse and the Fool. This card here, if I saw it by itself, I would have said, no, they're not going to reach out. This card here makes it a possibility, but it could be that they reach out, maybe not soon, and soon is kind of a word that's, it lacks definitiveness, because soon can mean different things to different people. So what I'll say is this. I don't think in the time frame that you would normally be expecting this person to reach out, they will. But hopefully when they do reach out, there can possibly be a connection or something along those lines. Because the Fool card's not a bad card. It's the beginning of something. But this right here is saying that things are slow, they're stagnant. And I think it's going to be that way for a while. But maybe eventually there can be a breakout and there can be energy moving towards this connection again. But as I've always said, do not wait for a possible maybe. Like, move on from this connection for now. And if this person does come back and you're willing to let them back in, then do so. But don't hold out hope for a connection, right? It's best for us to see it for what it is now. There's distance there. There's a lack of communication. And we need to see that for what it is, versus trying to be a mind reader, trying to see what did you say their name was? SB? SM, yes. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And you're very welcome, KB. Elsa, how are you doing? I'm going to put you on the list here. You'll have to wait your turn for a minute. But welcome. Alright, there's the list now. We've got 3 people. Denise, what is your question? Okay, that's the free list. So we have Denise, and then we have Kartika, and then Elsa. Okay. Alright. Denise says, thank you, Chance. I started a small side hustle a few years ago, and it's growing, but was wondering if... I wish that icon... Okay, that worked. And it's growing, but was wondering if now is a good time to finally start a website or put my products in some specialty stores. Ooh, nice. Nice. This sounds like a good problem to have. So I take 10%. That's going to be my fee. I'll answer the question, but I'll take 10%. No, let's look here. Let's look and see what I can get for you, Denise. Let's take a gander and see. But that's exciting. That's exciting. So good for you. Hopefully, if it is sweets related, you give me a lifetime supply. And if it's anything else, I can also get a little sample. As long as it's not like you're selling cockroaches or something, you know. I don't want those. Unless they're made of candy and they're not cockroaches. And you know what? If they're just gummy bears, that sounds good. All right. Let's go for it here. You're very welcome, lovely. You're very welcome. Natural skincare, and would love for you to sample them for me. Oh, skincare. Okay, okay. Is it for sensitive skin? Or, well, if it's natural, it probably would work with sensitive skin. Um, Actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. I might want to take you up on that offer. I do enjoy some skincare. Anita, yes, I can add you to the list, and you're very welcome, lovely. Let me put you on the list here, Anita. Okay, so I'm reading Denise right now, and then this will be the new free list. Okay. I'm using this stuff right now called, what is it? It's like oxygen infused. I can't remember the name, and I look at the bottle every day. Anyway, it's like oxygen infused, helps with acne, helps with a lot of stuff, and it's a 3-step system. So it's face wash. I think it can be used as body wash too, because it just says it's like an acne wash or whatever. So I think it can be used for body as well, because it doesn't just say face wash. Anyway, and then there's an astringent, and then there is a moisturizer. So it's like a 3-step program. Yes, Ling, I can add you. All right, Kartika, thank you for asking your question. You're up right after Denise, who I'm reading now. So, and yes, Ling, I can put you on the list. How are you doing, my friend? Remember to like and subscribe, guys. Did I spell it right, Ling? Delicious. Yes, Honeybee, I can put you on the list. How are you doing, Honeybee? 6:50 a.m. Sunday morning here. Well, good freaking morning. That is some stuff. That is early. That is early to be watching me right now. But I appreciate your sharing your morning with me. All right. Okay, so here is the new updated list. Okay. And I'm doing Denise's reading right now, and then we'll have Kartika after. All right. Every now and again, that hamster dance song likes to play in my head. And you guys look it up on YouTube. You'll understand what I mean. The hamster dance song. It's a very weird song, but it's somewhat adorable. All right. Here we go. 10 of Wands in reverse, and the 6 of Swords in reverse. do you have enough, let's see, Denise, do you have enough to do anything like this? Would you have enough to fulfill big orders? Like, would you be able to get enough supplies to fulfill bigger orders? Like, 100 units, 500 units. The Ten of Wands in reverse, I'm feeling like maybe there could be something with supply issue, or maybe there could be something with finding a way to get into the market the way you're thinking. I feel like you would be successful, but it's feeling like there's maybe searching for a way in might be difficult. I'm not really sure on this one. Again, business stuff is a little bit more tricky for me. So if I can be honest, my relationship with business is different than other people's financial situations. I don't know. I'm going to be purposefully vague about that because you guys don't need to know. But financial things with me are I'm just in a different world in kind of a weird way. So, not yet. That's what I was worried about. Okay, so that makes sense. So, Denise, would it be okay, and I'm not going to do this for everyone, primarily because I don't know if I can, number one, and number two, I'm still working on perfecting my psychic abilities, so I'm going to try to do a psychic reading here, but I'm wondering if it's okay if I can tune in a little bit more psychically to maybe see something. I'm a one-woman show right now, but my sister has a shop. Ah, okay. The shop is a good idea. And I was seeing, absolutely, okay. I have a little thing here I can use, and I can make a little notes. So let's, okay, that dropped on the floor. So sometimes when we're doing psychic work, for me, sometimes when I do little scribbles, I can get psychic impressions and information. So, and you always want to ask permission before you start doing a psychic reading for someone, because it's kind of like would you knock on the door of a house before you walked in? Probably. And this is the same thing. Ask permission and then do your work. Don't just barge in. It's energetically, it's not the nicest thing to do. So you just want to ask first. And sometimes I will get excited and I will forget to ask and I'll just start doing the reading. And that is a habit I need to break. Okay. So it's always important to ask first. Yes, Stewie, I can put you on the list here. And welcome back. Alright, so let me see what we can come up with here. Very first thing I saw, even before, like right when I asked you if I could connect, I started getting some information. It wasn't a steady flow, but again, not something I could control because it was already out there. But you've also said yes to me connecting many times before, so that could have been kind of what we were going off of. The very first thing I saw, though, was like a pebble. And it was like this really round, smooth pebble. And it was just sort of by itself. But it had everything it needed to be the best, like, pebble you could see, or the best pebble you could imagine. And I view that as saying, like, you're taking the right steps and you're doing everything you need to do to make this successful. But it seems to me to be coming at kind of a slower pace, but it's still coming together. But it's just at kind of a slower pace, which is better than nothing happening. Because it's definitely like there's steps that are being taken, there's things that are moving along, but it's not quite... it's still kind of a pebble, if that makes sense. And one pebble doesn't seem like a lot at first. But if you have a perfected pebble, then you could make a perfected mountain. You know what I mean? Because it has a bunch of perfected pebbles. Okay. So And then I'm hearing the name Greystone, which is interesting. Greystone, I don't know why. Again, it's with pebbles, or like earth. Earth. It feels earthy for whatever reason. What sort of scents do you have in this line, or is it unscented? Your skincare. I feel like I had the name Aaron come up as well, and that could be Erin or Aaron. So it is very natural, essential oils and crystal infused. Okay, so that could be why I'm seeing the stones. Hmm. Be looking for ways to increase your the one thing I'm getting here is just be looking for ways to increase your the way you can manufacture, getting supplies, getting the right kind of stuff, and be looking for this in the background of ways that you can put your stuff out there and get to be more well known. A lot of things you can do though would be trade shows would be a really good place to sort of advertise your product in a way where other people can see it, they can understand it. If you need to work on the packaging, make it look a little bit more professional. Again, I don't know what it looks like. I'm sure it looks great. But whatever you need to do before you take it to a trade show or before you take it to some place where people can see it uh, in a more commercial way, I would say focus on that. But it seems to me like there is going to be success here. You just got to put yourself behind it, and it seems like you're already doing that. So, yeah, trade shows would be one of the best things. Things that are related but aren't necessarily in the same field. Like for instance, your stuff is holistic or natural skincare, psychic conventions, spiritual conventions, like that can carry that kind of niche as well. And so, any place that you could go and put the word out would be good. Um, and these kinds of conventions generally aren't super expensive to get a booth and to get stuff set up, but that could be one way you could sort of, I guess, start pushing out a product in that way. But look for ways that you can push your product, not necessarily in the skincare market, because the skincare market right now it's very competitive. And I'm not saying that your stuff can't stand up to it, but it could get drowned out. So look for other markets that have similar people that would also be interested. So if someone's into natural skincare, there's a good chance they could be spiritual as well, or there's a good chance that they could be more into the natural stuff, and you could do a bunch of things in the natural sector as well. So just look at ways that can kind of tie in with different things. Yeah, does that make sense, Denise? And Denise kind of gets special treatment, you guys. She's been here for a very long time on the channel. She's like one of the OG subscribers, so I go a little bit above and beyond in that sense. And thank you for letting me do that, Denise, letting me go into the energy there a little bit. You're very welcome, Denise. You're very, very welcome. Okay, so now we're on to Cardica, and they posted their question up here. What's coming toward me in love, February 2024? Yes, Linda, I can put you on the list here. Remember to like the video, you guys, if you haven't. Yeah. Okay, so here is the list. I'm on Cardica right now. And if you guys pay, you do jump ahead on the list and you get priority and more detailed explanations. So, just putting that out there if you don't want to wait. All right, Kartika, hello. I'm going to get to your question right now. So, we're doing one question. So, do you want to know, will you communicate with your ex-Pisces, or do you want to know what's coming toward you in love February 2024? Because I just do the one question that's free. The Pisces one. Okay, perfect. Rice's Pisces. They should do that. They should make Zodiac-themed candy, and Reese's Pieces would be Rice's Pisces. And then maybe you guys can come up with some other ones. Like, Taurus would... I got Rice's Pisces. That's about as far as it's going for me. Or Pice Crispy Treats would be good, but that one's a little convoluted. Okay. All right. So, will you communicate with your ex-Pisces? It's looking like it's possible. Okay, will you communicate with Pisces in February 2024? Ah, I see what you did there. I see what you did. Good way to do it. So 9 of Cups. Hey, Becca, how's it going? It has been a minute. So 9 of Cups, King of Wands. It looks like there's a possibility the communication could happen in February. I'm not saying it's for sure, but this looks pretty good, honestly, right here. When it comes to the psychic stuff, again, I'm not making promises, but this looks pretty good. So hopefully there is communication, and hopefully this is what you want. But yeah, right now, this is looking solid. So I'd say February 2024, hopefully you get this person reaching out to you, Kartika, and thank you for waiting for your turn. Are you wanting to be added on the list, Becca? And big hugs right back at you. Okay. That's always the way to be, and never, I say this all the time, and sometimes I forget to say it after these readings, but never wait around for anyone. Always keep moving on, and if someone has shown you that they're not interested, either through what they've said or what they haven't said, sort of move on from that situation and get towards something that more matches your energy that you're wanting to have. So never chase, never beg, and hopefully if this person comes back in your life, it can be a good situation where there's open communication and you can work through whatever issues have been going on. Okay, Becca, I'll put you on the free list here. It's going to be just a second. Nice. There's Elsa. Okay, perfect. So I'm reading Elsa now. So this will be the new list. All right. And Elsa says, forgot to put in a comma after that one and after that one. Okay. Thank you, Elsa, for being patient. I'm posting the new list now. Some of those names just sort of ran on together, so there we go. They say if you start running towards yourself, they'll start chasing you if they feel pulled. Yes. Yes, they will. And it really depends. Some situations we're not meant to be in, or we've learned our lessons from them, and the universe tries to send us, it tries to say, are you sure you want to walk away from this connection? And it's not saying it like it's a threat, like this is a good connection. A lot of times when we walk away from a connection or it goes away from us, it really is for the best. Especially if in that connection we felt drained, we felt unheard, we felt unloved, we felt unappreciated. it's not hard to have someone feel appreciated, seen, and validated in a relationship. It literally is, I'm going to give you some of my attention right now, and I'm going to hopefully get that reciprocated. And if that isn't reciprocated, then we kind of know what to expect from there on out. But it's important for us to always value ourselves very highly so that we don't attract people that will waste our time. A time waster in this instance would be someone who does not see us as being inherently valuable. That is a time waster. That is someone who maybe they just want us for like physical intimacy, or maybe they just want us for whatever, but they don't want us for who we are as a person. And if we're looking for that deeper connection than just physical intimacy, it's really important that we see that this person that we're wanting to be with sees us as a person and not as an object. And so do they remember certain things you said to them? Do they know what you like? Do they know what you dislike? You know, when they tease you, is it a sweet, innocent kind of teasing, or do they play horrible jokes on you? Like, basically, you'll know if someone is the right one by how they communicate with you. And it's physically, it's vocally, but it's also energetically. You'll kind of get a sense for that. And when we have a high value to ourselves, we put out that vibe, and other people that are not genuine cannot match that vibe, at least not for very long. At first, people can pretend to be on the same wavelength as us, especially in the online world. They can pretend. It's not hard for them to do. But that's why I always say give it time. Give it time, and let's see what happens with this connection, instead of jumping into something quickly or having some sort of event where things are moving very quickly. And also, if you guys are in a situation and it is moving very, very quickly and you do not like that, put the brakes on it and realize that you have control over the situation, and be like, you know what, this is moving way too fast. I don't like this. And if they try to pressure you into anything, that's not a connection for you, okay? You're looking for something that's going to go with the flow and be an easy kind of connection. All relationships are going to have their struggles. There's going to be difficulties, but there should be an ease in communication, and we should feel that. If we don't feel that with someone that we want to be with, like we can talk to them about anything and feel comfortable, it might be time to walk away from that situation. You've been through all of this, huh? Oh, yes. Yeah. Was in a relationship for about 15 years and went through all the ups and downs and all the stuff like that. And besides that, I've done a lot of research into psychology, spiritual development, different things. And so I know my way around it a little bit. Let's just say that. And if I can save you guys the pitfalls, by all means, I think that's the way to go. Okay. So Elsa said, do they have a future with Scorpio? So let's look at this. 8 of coins in reverse, and the moon card in reverse. So I'm going to say, looking at these, I'm going to say no. 8 of coins in reverse. Things are not coming together. Normally, I view this guy, I see him as like Adam Levine putting together IKEA furniture for whatever reason. My mind works in mysterious ways, even I don't comprehend. But this is like, things aren't coming together because this is in reverse. So it's like they're taking apart something. And then the moon card, when it's in reverse, it's very much secrecy and illusion, right? I view it as, when it's like this, the moon card can be something that can be like a soothing card, but it can be calling to the mysterious part of us that maybe we don't know about ourselves, the subconscious. When it's like this, though, we're looking at illusion and possible secrecy. So I'm not looking at this as being a connection that's going to pan out or work in your favor at this point in time, Elsa. Hopefully that helps to give you some insight there. Hey there, Alex X. Yes, I can add you. You're very welcome. Okay, so Anita, are you there? You're welcome, Elsa. Thank you for letting me do your reading. Okay. Anita might be taking a siesta, which I believe is Spanish for sleep. But then there's a fiesta, and I think that's Spanish for party. So would a sleepover party be a siesta? Fiesta? I don't know. The word for over in Spanish. I'm not sure what that is. Ah, Anita's here. Okay, what's your question, Anita? I'm glad you came and saved whatever that conversation was turning into because it was getting weird. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, let's look at the feelings towards Gemini from the Pisces. Alrighty. So, we get the Strength card, and we get Temperance. Okay. So the Strength card here, both of these are major arcana. I feel like the feelings towards you, there could possibly be some feelings, some emotions towards you, but when I get the Strength card with Temperance, it feels like we're trying to balance our strength, or we're trying to balance our inner world with our outer world. And so I would say, yes, I think there's a connection. The feelings towards you, to me, though, don't feel like they're necessarily strong enough for like a proper emotional connection, at least at this point in time. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but it just feels to me like it's more about you focusing on yourself, possibly at this time. And again, if you guys are coming to me asking me how another person feels instead of asking them directly, that should tell you right there that there's probably something going on that's not the best. Like, you should be able to ask someone how they're feeling or what's going on in that situation. If it's a stranger, someone you don't know that well, then odds are the connection's not going to be super strong anyway, because they don't know you, you don't know them. But if it's someone we've known for a while, and they're not, let's say they're not talking to us, there's no communication, that right there should be your communication that this person is sort of walking away from the connection. And that's a painful thing, but also we can only control ourselves and our reactions. He's your best friend. Okay. Okay, I hope, again, I'm hoping you get what you want out of this situation. I'd say don't, as I've said many times, don't wait around for anyone or anything. Live your life, and if this person chooses to come into your life, hopefully there can be some reconciliation and open communication on all of that kind of stuff. So I wish you the best, Anita. Yeah, that's never a good sign if they're ignoring you. But again, I hope you find some peace with this. You're welcome, Anita. Okay, Linglicious. Nice, you had your question right ready to go. Thank you. That's the free list right there. I'm reading Ling right now. So Linglicious says, what is next from ST to me, Ling? All right, ST. ST. What is next from ST to Ling? Let's look at that. Whoop. Almost had the cards spill out there. All right. Let's see what we can come up with here. So, Honeybee, do I recommend you asking about the future, or should you stick to current energy readings? Either one is good. I've noticed for myself personally, when it comes to the further we go out in time, the harder it is for me to do a reading that is going to be super accurate. But it doesn't mean you can't go further out in time. It's just like let's say you're wondering 4 months to a year, like 6 months to a year from now about a certain issue. There are so many things that free will can affect that could make it so that the reading I did for you won't come to pass the same way that I said it would, because free will plays a huge factor in everything, and no psychic is going to be 100% right. So the further out in linear time that we go into, which is going to be three-dimensional, that's this space, three-dimensional time, linear meaning past, present, future, so it's harder for me to read. In reality, time doesn't exist. In the spiritual realm, time is happening all at once. It's past, present, future, all at once. There is no past, present, future, because everything is simultaneous. At least that's my understanding of it. And so when we're looking at linear time, the further I go out, the harder it is to get an accurate read. Current feelings would probably be a better question, but I'm not limiting you to just that. Hopefully that makes sense. I know this stuff can be confusing, and I want to make it as non-confusing, non-fusing as possible. I want to be very non-fusionary. That makes sense. Energies and people change, sometimes quickly. Yes, they can. Things can happen in a person's environment, their life, their situation, that can make them make weird, strange, or sometimes very, very unusual choices. And it could be because they're grieving, they're angry, they're sad, they're really, really frickin' hungry. There could be a lot of reasons. Hey there, Rhea. Okay. So let me do this, and let's see what we got here. Guys, remember to hit the bell icon and enable all notifications, so every time I breathe funny, you guys can be notified, and whenever I'm live. I breathe funny a lot, so you'll get a lot of notifications, but that's how we do things here. Okay, so I'm going to read one more time. What is next from ST to Ling? All right, Rhea, I will put you on the list here. You'll have to wait your turn, though, okay? All right. I got a call back from AT&T. I'll be back. If I'm not back in time, you can take me off the list. Okay. Yeah, Denise, it's the same kind of thing. So here's the list now, and I'm reading Ling right now, but there's the list, the free list. Okay. All right, Ling, I got you. So we got 9 of Cups in reverse with the Page of Coins. So I'm wondering if their next actions may be a bit delayed. Not bad, but I'm wondering if maybe there's going to be a delay, or maybe there's going to be a cancellation or a change of plans. Just because when I see these two cards together, and I don't see it as negative, I just see this as like, this is a happy card, like fulfillment, but when I see it in reverse next to this card, it's making me think maybe there can be a delay in communication, or something can happen where maybe there is a miscommunication or a misunderstanding. So the next actions towards you, I feel like, will be positive ones, but there may be some frustration before that. So just be on the lookout if there is any miscommunication to sort of clear up those issues as much as you can, Ling, if that is something that does end up sort of presenting itself. Alright, and Becca is apparently dealing with the monster known as AT&T, so I will put her on the list still, but AT&T can be brutal, so we gotta wish her the best. And a little mess now. Thank you. Okay, good, Link. Good. Hopefully you can get some resolution there. So, Honeybee, it's your turn. Is there a honey brand called Humble Bumble? Because if there was Humble Bumblebee honey, I think that would actually do really well. It probably is something out there. Oh, Honeybee says, well, it's my birthday today, and wondering if you could see any good things coming to me this year. That seems like an appropriate thing to ask. Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah. Alright, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And whatever age you are, it doesn't matter. But I do wish you a very, very happy birthday. And if you are turning 30, be prepared for aches and pains in wondrous places, like your armpit, or the side of your face, or the back of your head, you know. You're 37, you're an old lady. Oh, you're not an old lady. I'm 34, and I'm not an old lady. Not yet. No, 37 is the new, like 19 and a half. I think that sounds about right. Thank you guys for well wishes. I appreciate that towards our honeybee. You don't look 37. Well, that's good. That's good. Sometimes, depending on the lighting, I go from looking like I need to be ID'd to get beer, or people just say, you know what, you can have it. It doesn't matter. Like, they don't even charge me any money. They're just like, you know what, whatever. I'm still getting ID'd, but it's becoming less and less frequent, and I kind of miss it, to be honest. Okay. No, and honestly, 37's not that old, really. People in their 20s, though, they'll tell you 37's old. But I'm 34, and I feel... You know what? I'm going to not finish that sentence, because that's not going to end well for anyone. But I have good days, and I have days where things... You ever pull a muscle in your neck because you woke up and you turned your head funny, and you're in excruciating amounts of pain for 3 or 4 days? Because I swear that's never happened to me before. Just by turning my head. That's definitely never happened. Alright. What's up for Humble? Oh, Honeybee has. They've had that incident. I hate it. I hate it so much. Sometimes, I swear, if I look at someone funny, my back just goes out. So I gotta be careful with what I'm doing. Also, I shouldn't be doing handstands when I look at people, but that's beside the point. Let's see if we can get here for Honeybee. What's coming up for this year? Lots of cats. That's it. That's what the cards are going to say. Just lots of cats. That's interesting. Okay, so we've got the Page of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Page of Swords. So, basically... Oh, okay. Had an itch there. Alright, scooting back. Moving forward. There we go. Had to adjust my legs. Alright. Page of Wands in reverse. This is going to be someone who I feel like has a lot of dreams, ambitions, passions, maybe some gas. You never know. And then with the Page of Swords, maybe being able to... I'm glad you like the sense of humor, Denise. Again, I can't stop. It's an issue. The Page of Swords is, to me, wanting to be able to actualize things, wanting to be able to put them into action, but maybe with the Page of Wands, there can be times where things can feel confusing, or it can be overwhelming for us to put into action what we have that we feel passionate about. So I would say this year, if there's any way that we can take something that we're wanting to do, or a few things that we're wanting to do, and chunk them down, okay? And what that means is that we just take it and we turn it into tinier steps versus big steps. I think that's going to be where we can find some success here. This to me looks like a good reading because both of these are the page cards. One of them is in reverse, yes, but both of these are kind of showing new starts and new beginnings in your life. And we just need to make sure that we take the proper steps to take the proper steps, right? I'm recently single and got a blank slate ahead of me, so anything is possible. Everything is overwhelming right now. Makes sense. Makes sense. So just take things day by day, honeybee. I mean, we can't live 2 days in the future. I've tried. You end up hurting yourself. As soon as you turn 30, so many things can hurt you. And living 2 days in the future is one of them. But primarily what you want to do is you want to be gentle with yourself while you're doing this, and you're getting stuff ready in your life, and you're planning for your future. You want to make it so that it doesn't feel intimidating, and the best way to do that is to take tiny steps each and every day. Especially if you're wearing a pedometer, because then you can count those steps at the end of the day and feel accomplished, you know? Or you can feel really sad because you realize the only exercise you got in was getting up and going to the fridge and coming back to your room. But if you do that 2 or 3 times a day, you know, that's a few hundred steps a day. It's not bad. Who feels sorry for me? Let's have a show of hands here. Okay. Anyway, lots of good things will be on the horizon, but just do your best to focus on what you have now, be grateful for what you have now, and then more and more can become available to you in the future. But don't be thinking everything has to happen all at once. A lot of this stuff takes time, and a lot of it takes gentleness and understanding. So don't have it be something where you're rushing in and you're trying to get stuff done and you're trying to hurry along. But yeah, and also happy 37th birthday for the person who doesn't look like they're 37. And I don't even know what a 37-year-old person looks like. Like, I've never looked at someone that was 37 and been like, spot on, you look 37. So I don't know. Now 55 though, had plenty of those. 65, 75, you can kind of tell. 85, 95. And also, yes, lots of cats. Always remember lots of cats, because that's how I live my life. Always feline, fine, right? That's what we're looking for. But hopefully, honeybee, that gives you some stuff there. Hey there. I know the name. I've seen the name before. But why LK? Yelk. What do I call you? Why? I don't even know if that's an L. E-I? E-L? Can I get on your list? It's L. Okay, perfect. Yes, I can put you on the list. How have you been doing? You're very welcome, honeybee. You are very welcome, and may you bumble and not stumble on your journey and always remain humble. All right. Here's our list. Trying to balance this anxiety. Okay. Hopefully you can get some balance there. I know it can be difficult with anxiety. Dewey, are you still there? Dewey Decimal System. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That's about all I got. Mountain Dewey. I got one more, I'm sure. I just can't think of it. Alright, so we're waiting for Dewey. Guys, remember to hit the bell icon to be notified of everything, like the video, and subscribe if you're new to be, and then tell me, and then you can be added to the list. And if we don't have... Okay. And remember to refresh your page as you're watching me. Just because sometimes you can be 3 or 4 minutes behind, the stream lags, and so just remember to refresh your stream often. I have to tell myself that when I go to the bathroom. Just remember. I love cats. All strays find their way to my house. Ah, you're a stray cat feeder. I've heard of your kind before, Denise. Alright, hold on. Let's go to the next person here. Linda, are you still there? I know we can take a little while getting all of our geese in a row, so to speak. Okay, Becca. Let's do Becca or Alex X. Are you guys there? Becca or Alex X. Okay, there we go. Will you be in a committed relationship with R? Let's look at that for Alex X. Alright, Alex X. Let's see what we got going on for you here. And... She watch... Napping at now. Alrighty. Will Alex X be in a committed relationship with R? Alright, let's see what we can get here. The Emperor. And the Ace of Wands in reverse. So, let me do this, because I can use this as a little thing here. Okay, so we have the Emperor right here. And this card, we see someone, it's a man, and he's holding up kind of this structure right here. And he's also on top of another cube kind of structure. So this is a very masculine card. And this can be feminine or masculine. Like, you could be talking about a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine traits within us. But this is seeming more masculine, just because then we have the Ace of Wands, which to me is more, it's more of a phallic kind of card. The Emperor, though, in this situation, is showing that there can be stability here, but with this, I don't know. I feel like you could have a relationship. I don't know if it would be a committed relationship, though, just because I'm looking at this card here, and this could show that maybe someone has a wandering eye, or maybe we're looking at a player energy, but I'm not entirely sure. This card, though, can be a good one, but I'm wondering if not this person, okay, if this person doesn't have a wandering eye, or if this person isn't a player, they could also just be someone who I don't know if they're ready for a committed relationship yet. Hopefully, though, I'm wrong, and they can be ready for one, but when I see this, it's making me feel like maybe this person has a fear of commitment, or there's something there where it just doesn't feel like commitment is going to be in the cards. No pun intended, but it just feels to me like it's not quite there yet. But this is a good sign. But again, I always say, you know, never wait around for anything. But hopefully, if this is a situation, you can find some peace and resolution here and get what you want out of this. You're welcome, Alex X. You are welcome. Okay. So let's go to the next one on the list here. And we have got Rhea, are you there? So I can probably take these two off the list. And then, so this is the free list right now. There we go. All right, Ratik's next actions towards Rhea. Let's look at that. And the only reason I'm saying the names out of order on there is I did call Dewey and I did call Linda earlier and I did not get a response. And so I'm just reading who was here most recently at this point. Okay. All right, here we go. What time is it here? It is, there we go, there's the clock. 4:39 p.m. So, I think you're about 14 hours ahead. Or 15 hours ahead, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's 4:39 p.m. here, or 16:39 if you're using the world clock system. I believe that's what it is. So we have King of Swords. This one's in reverse. And then we have the Queen of Cups. I'm going to say right here, Rhea, I don't know if there's going to be any action that's taken. This is in reverse. So this is someone who can be very cold or distant, or someone who, and hopefully I'm wrong, hopefully they do take some action, but this looks to me like I'm not going to see any action here. I feel like you would want something out of this relationship, but I'm not sure if this person necessarily wants the same thing. So I would say at this point in time, I'm not seeing any action being taken towards you. But again, hopefully I'm wrong. I don't want to be right with that, but that's what I'm seeing there with the cards. Rhea. So, Elle, are you still there? This isn't... You're welcome, Rhea. This isn't a tarot question, just an opinion poll. Y'all think I should buy myself a new Prius or breast implants? Which one y'all think I'll get more mileage out of? I'm gonna say Prius. Get the Prius. I think breast implants, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm personally not a breast implant kind of guy. But some women want that, right? Some women want that, and I'm not going to judge their choices or what they choose to do that way, but I'd probably go more for the Prius if it was me. But, Honey Bee, it sounds like you got some big dreams there. Sounds like you got some either a Prius or some... I'm trying to think of something else. I can't quite think of a pun or anything, but I'll think of it. I'll think of it eventually. But if we're talking literally, you'd get more mileage out of the Prius because it can actually drive, you know? If you can get mileage out of your breast implants, I'm thinking, are they like remote controlled? Y'all always say they're big enough, but they could always be bigger. Well, true. I suppose I should get that nut implant too, just to make it... I don't even know what to say here. Yeah, don't listen to society on stuff like that. Oh, not good. Get the Prius. Get the Prius. Pretty little Prius. Honestly, I don't. I'm just I'm lost for words, but not for very long. They always find their way back to me. You can always count on me to make it awkward. Oh, if we're talking about making it awkward, me too. Me too. I am very good uh, at making it awkward. Yes, yes. Uh, you're good, honeybee. Don't worry about it. You won't be an awkward. Okay. I'm not really getting people coming forward here. So, and I posted the list. There we go. Okay, L, what is your question? Next actions of Hilton towards Ella. Ah, okay. And I take it you're Ella. Or L. I can call you L. Okay. Let's do this here and let's see what we can come up with. You're very welcome, Ella. Or L. Now it's going to be hard to not call you Ella. Alright. Hilton towards Ella. Let's see what we can come up with here. You're very welcome, Lane. Very, very welcome. Alright. Next actions of Hilton towards Ella. Let's see what we got here. So, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse with the Three of Wands. So, this card in reverse, it's kind of like, I view it kind of like self-sabotaging, or I view it like not necessarily moving in the direction that we would find beneficial. I'll explain that here in a second. Three of Wands, though, this card is like working together, moving towards something, but this person is putting in considerable effort and they're sort of pulling their weight. But when I get these two next to each other, it feels kind of muddy, the energy. I don't feel a flow with these cards, and so it feels like there could possibly be action, but things are being canceled out. And so maybe there's confusion or there's indecisiveness, but there doesn't feel like there's a definitive plan toward anything. It feels kind of nebulous. Or just like there's not a lot moving towards this connection or making things more cemented. There could be, I would almost read it like you guys aren't in a connection at this point in time, or if you are in a connection, it feels like things have maybe gotten stale, or things have sort of taken a turn where it just feels kind of almost Groundhog Day-ish. We are just distant friends. Okay, so that would make sense. Um, so I'm not seeing really anything happening here, at least not in a significant way, and at least for a while. It doesn't mean it won't happen. And maybe this could just be you two getting to reconnect again and getting to know each other, and so that's why it feels nebulous and it feels kind of like not walking on eggshells, but it feels kind of like being familiar with each other, and that can always be kind of an awkward thing, the reunion and trying to pick up where you left off, kind of a thing. So maybe this can strengthen as time goes on, but for right now, it has that kind of nebulous look to it. Doesn't mean it can't change. Just that's sort of what I'm picking up right now for you, Ella. Yes, Linda, you did, but if you want to post your question now, you can go right ahead and do so. Makes sense. It's quiet now. Okay, that does make sense. Yeah, Linda, if you want to ask your question, you can. And then I'm thinking I'm probably going to log off after this. Okay. Will my ex-Aries ex-boyfriend ever stop trying to mess up my life? That is a question. Let's take a look here. I'm hoping that's the case, that they stop. I'm sorry, Linda, if you've been having to deal with that. That does not sound fun to deal with. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands in reverse, and then we have Judgment also in reverse. And both of these are making me feel like I think eventually this person will get tired of trying to mess with you. But if there's ways that you can, block them on social media, do all that stuff, you probably have. But trying to get rid of them or cut them out of your life as much as you can. I just wonder what he wants, because it's like he hates me to the core. And people like this that can be this way, it's hard for us to rationalize and to think again, not a rational person, it sounds like. So trying to put into what they're thinking in a logical way to make sense to you won't make sense, because they don't make sense, right? If there's someone that's operating purely off of ego or malice or just like a drive to manipulate, that makes it really difficult to try to understand the reason why, because sometimes people are just like that. It seems to me like if we can set up boundaries, if we can work through these things, I blocked him everywhere, but he's coming for me spiritually. Okay. So we can protect ourselves spiritually, right? I talked about it a little bit earlier, but if we can focus on making a connection with this other person and making it as real as possible by visualizing, if we can imagine a cord connecting us to the other person, and we visualize that cord and we have a color for the cord, and we show it connecting to this other person, and then I do this thing where I take a syringe and I go into that cord that has all of the energy that's connecting both of you together, and I draw out all of that energy that is connecting the both of you together. And after I've drawn out all of that energy, I sort of inject myself with it, and I take in all the energy that belongs to me, and then anything that does not belong to me will go into the earth with, I always say this, with love, appreciation, and kindness. And then you're getting your energy back. You've withered up that cord, and you can start to cut or sever that cord between the two of you. That's a really good way to set boundaries spiritually and make it so this person doesn't have control in your life in that way anymore. But the visualizing has to be something that feels fairly concrete in a way, and then you get rid of the cord, you cut the energy, and then eventually this person will start to back off more and more. The energy cord stuff works. And then if we have to take the next step beyond that, we can do that, but let's try this first and see where that goes, because that should help you in a spiritual way to set boundaries. And also just in general, setting boundaries in your life and being more straightforward with what you want and what you don't want can also be very, very helpful. And if this person does try to reach out with you and you feel like you have to talk with them, do what's called gray rocking, which is basically communicating with them but not sharing any personal details about your life. It's like just small talk and not going into detail about anything, your dreams, your aspirations, or anything that you're wanting to do, or anything that you're going to be hanging out, or anyone that you're going to be hanging out with. Make it be something that is just for you. And again, eventually people like this will lose interest. They're egomaniacs. They want to get an emotional charge out of you. Eventually, if they're not getting that anymore, they move on to someone else. If they see that you're starting to come into your own sense of power and your own sense of self-worth, eventually they'll back off, because a confident person is the scariest thing for people that are manipulative or abusive. So try that, and that should actually start to make a difference. Okay. Hopefully he never talks to me. I hope the same thing, Linda. I hope so too. And if he tries to talk to you or do something, if it's possible to get a restraining order, do it. Like, do whatever you feel like you need to do to be safe, but if you need to send a message that this person can't come back and talk to you or be a part of your life in any way, do whatever it is you need to do. Don't feel bad about taking steps to make sure you feel okay. You're welcome, Linda. Hey, Sunny Days, how you doing? And welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here. Do you have a question? Yeah, go for it. Ask your question. I think I'm going to do this and then I'm going to head off for the day, but you can absolutely ask your question. Make sure to like the video and hit the bell icon for every time I go live so that you can see what it is I'm doing. For the longest time, or for the longest you've tried protecting your friend from drama. Okay. My friend Gonzalo realize his actions that hurt others. Will Sunny Days' friend Gonzalo realize his actions that hurt others? That's a good question. Let's look at this together. I hope besides that, though, Sunny Days, your days are indeed sunny, and things are going well for you. Okay. Today got to him. He came to me telling me they were talking. I told him, I told you, Gonzalo. Yeah, if it can be different in those situations, but sometimes we just gotta let our friends kind of fly and do their own thing. I understand you want to protect them, you want to be there for them, but sometimes we just have to let people make their own mistakes, and we can't be there for them in the way that we would want to. So it sounds like Gonzalo is going to be learning lessons the hard way, which isn't the funnest way to learn lessons, but eventually he'll learn. Okay, so 10 of wands and the 4 of coins in reverse. So I would say Gonzalo right here is feeling he is older to not understand it. He's 45. He could be 75, 85. There's ways, no matter what age we are, we can learn to not be ignorant of our own behavior and the way we act towards people. If he's doing something, starting drama, or he's not quite understanding things, he should be able to look at himself and realize that he can change his behavior. And if people are having a difficult time with him and he refuses to change his behavior, I don't go for that. He's old. He can't try to do this. He can't try to do that because he's just too old. Um, Midlife crisis, whatever's going on, someone should be aware of themselves enough to hopefully not bring drama or feel like they need to be protected in that way. I get that it's difficult. Hey there, Marie. How are you doing? Yes, the one question is detailed, but I'm actually thinking of doing this free reading and then going off for the day. But I'll probably be back again on either Monday or Tuesday. So if you're wanting to do your question then, we could probably do that. But yeah, so the Ten of Wands, this is a card of burden and like carrying your burdens with you wherever you go. This card here, the Four of Coins in reverse, yeah, I mean, we could be dealing with someone who is a bit rough around the edges, has different things going on. But at the end of the day, people should be able to look at themselves and realize that they have shitty behaviors and things they need to change. And sunny days, I know you want to protect this person, you want to help them out, but a lot of times, no, Marie, I'm not able to do your question today, but I could probably do it on either Monday or Tuesday when I'm live again. This is my last question for the day, and it's the free one. Yes, it looks like he is exhausted. Yeah, so I will say this. When you're doing this, sunny days, again, sometimes you just got to let people handle their own stuff and let them have their own consequences. Let them be. Yes, exactly. Because eventually what will happen, sunny days, is that people will come to you and they will rely more and more and more on you, and it's going to make it very hard for you to be your own person because you're constantly trying to look for threats to counteract them. You're constantly trying to look like how can I make things better? What can I do? You don't need to be that person. Nobody needs to be that person. This person, they're 45. They can handle themselves. Even if they can't, they can still do it. You know what I mean? You need to be, in this situation, you need to be mature enough to understand when it's appropriate for you to walk away. And I don't think you should have been in this situation at all, protecting them from the start. And maybe this person has a sad story, maybe things happen, this, that, or the other. But if we're hurting and we're going through life, we have a choice where we can start to heal our pain and we can start to focus on what makes us better, or we can focus on what makes us bitter, right? And a lot of times, people that are very empathic and very kind and loving individuals, they've been through a hell of a lot in life and they don't want to see other people struggle. But a lot of times, the reasons why people go through struggles is to learn life lessons. If you take away the struggle, they don't learn the lesson and they can't grow as a person. Does that make sense? I just don't want you to feel like you have to be responsible for a 45-year-old man. That sounds exhausting. Right, he's hurting others, and he needs to be told that he's hurting others. And if other people are having an issue with it and they're either saying it behind his back or whatever, he deserves to have that. He deserves to have that come back at him full force because he's hurting people. And I hope other people say things. I hope people talk about it so that this guy can get his shit together. You shouldn't have to protect someone that's hurting other people. Plain and simple. Awesome. Hey there, Mysterious Queen. You just caught me getting ready to leave. And yesterday you caught me when I went live, and I had to leave that one because I went live in the wrong way. But I'm getting ready to head out for the day. But I'll probably be live again Monday, or I'll be live again Tuesday. Either Monday or Tuesday. You're welcome. Yes, they told him to. Good. They need to tell him. He's an adult. He can handle it. But I will see you guys, like I said, Monday or Tuesday. So be ready for your questions, and I'll see you guys there, okay? Everybody take care.